after 8 years here, I knew in the last 1 or 2, 3 years that sooner or later we will drop. Of course, never expect to lose 3 Premier Leagues in a row. But in that times, always we expect to drop it, but we are incredibly consistent again and again and again. And now we cannot deny that the reality that sometimes in football, sometimes in life is here. So we are not used to lose so many games in a row. That's happened. That doesn't mean it's going to change. We have to do everything to change, and especially the next one. We're a team like always, we're consistent. We concede few chances, and now lately we concede more than usual. And our game was a lot of under control because it's not a team created to make a box-to-box 40 times in a game. We are not based for that. We are not good on that. But always we're a team like concede few. And sometimes we lose games, but I said, man, I concede 1 or 2 times, but now we concede more. It's for many reasons. I would like to tell you it's just one reason. There are many, few details for all the season that it happened, and you have to fix it. With the time, the players will come back better, and we will do it. I've been football player for my career and now there, so of course it's exceptional what we have done in the past, but lose 3 Premier Leagues in a row with the situations that we happen with the team can happen. So it happened to me as a football player in Barcelona. I think I lose 3 Premier Leagues, 3 games in a Liga, so it's happened. So now everything is a little bit against, because when you feel confident and the other one and those are good, it happened. But now it's the opposite, and that's why I had to break it in quick and accept it. The best way to go through in that position, accept the reality. So we were never able to lose so many games in a row, and now happen because something had to fix it. It's not fair. No, it's you, it's me, that, the other one, or maybe the weather, or maybe, I don't know, the grass, or it's not about that. So at the same time, when I said how difficult is it to have done, now you realize how difficult it was. But the reality is here. We have to do it. Guys, we have to start to win games. I don't know when. Maybe tomorrow at 1, because the people say, no, you cannot be worse. Yeah, you can be worse. You cannot get worse. Yeah, it can happen. Sometimes you have a bad moment. So, and I would say the mistake is think too much of what is an analysis. All the managers try to analyze what happened. There'll be a mistake. And the other mistake, if in 8 years going in that way, change a lot, will be a huge mistake. Because it works, because we didn't change much. I would say not clever enough after winning 4 in a row, the Premier Leagues and the Champions League, and being there all the time. Then now I'm going to change because I want to change it for 1 or 2 defeat. You have to go to the simple things, to go our partners that we know, that I think we believe completely, and yeah, step by step the players will be back and try to get back to winning games.
That's Pep Guardiola for you, talking about their 5 straight defeats from the EFL Cup to the UEFA Champions League, and 3 in the league. It started with Ange Postecoglou, also ending with him, or rather, will he end with him? Because that 4-0 loss at Etihad is the biggest loss right there at that stadium. Welcome to Channel Sports on Sunday. I'm Cecilia Amogbe. Yeah, we've got our regular guest in the studio. Of course, Kind of Channel Girl is in London. So starting up with the guest right here in the studio, Theophilus Agbolawa is here. He's not so happy or pumped up this morning because of what happened to Barcelona last night. And of course, the Formula One man, Jimmy Ogulano, is also in the studio this afternoon with me. Jimmy, it's nice to have you guys.
What a better way to start. I think it's been a very, very tough journey for Verstappen. So when you mention Formula One, I believe that there's been this conspiracy between yourself and Ken to ensure we are not talking about Formula One in a long time. Yeah. Hoping maybe, just maybe, Mercedes just...
It could have been any team that would have won then.
But I'm so happy for him because since 1983...
We'll talk about that one later. That will be the last thing we'll discuss on the show.
You see now, this is exactly what I've been talking about.
Because it was becoming too boring. I said we got bored. Ken is right there. Ken?
I trust your judgment. I so much trust your judgment.
Ken.
we'll discuss Formula One if we still have the time. We have a very packed schedule.
You see?
So,
yes.
Formula V.
Because somebody's there to talk about Formula V. He has vetted, he has entered into a Verstappen. It's only VV he supports. Let's see what is going to happen. I just you already congratulated them. But let's see, it's a brand new day. But for Pep, you saw him there. It's not easy, like you said, starting with Tottenham, and will it end with Tottenham? I believe so. They've got a lot of injury problems. Rodri out of the season. They rushed back Stones and Manuel Akonji. Ruben Dias is out. Rico Lewis has to play in the midfield because Kovacic is out. So basically, he's also feeling the pinch. Most clubs also do that. We saw Arsenal go through that when both Bukayo Saka and Odegaard, got injured, and those are the driving players that didn't work the team work. It happens to all teams, but how he goes to come out of this, we said he's one of the greatest managers, if not the greatest we've seen. But then going through this spell, 5 big L's in a row. Some managers, some clubs were sacked their manager by now. But the man who just won the 4 league titles in a row and losing 5 in a row, he just signed a new contract anyway. He just renewed his contract. So, but let's see how it's going to pan out with City. They want to go 5 in a row. Is it possible? They lost 4 in a row. Can they win 5 championships in a row? That should be the question.
Actually lost 5 in a row, right? Okay, we'll get back to the Premier League much later on the program. But first, let's start off with this one. We now have champions for the Women's CAF Champions League. And it's TP Mazembe that took out Edo Queens in the semi-final. They went to the final, and everyone was thinking of ASFA of Morocco will win it a second time. But it just wasn't to be, because those ladies scored early, and they defended it all through the 90 minutes, plus extra, plus the added time, injury time. And, of course, they were crowned champions, beating the host club by a lone goal. And these are the ladies who won that for the DR Congo team. I mean, guys, for the Women's CAF Champions League, this year was a different. The publicity, the money pumped into it, and everything you can think about. And we saw good football, especially from Edo Queens.
It's a fantastic for women's football on the continent. Apart from the money is being pumped right into the competition, we've seen that there seems to be better quality of play from the different teams. And I think it's something very, very noteworthy to say that CAF is doing something right at this point in time, injecting so much money into women football. Like we did say a couple of weeks ago, it would have been fantastic to have us a waffle, club league like regional, because you see that teams from Kosafa, they get the better of us anytime we get into competitions like this. And I think the TP Mazembe team, they're a great team. So much talk about the masculinity stroke femininity of this team, but I'll stick with what we can see on the field, that they strut that stuff so well on the field, and it's just fantastic to see that Edo Queens, though they did not lose within regulation time. I mean, 4 games that they did play, and they really, really made us proud. Maybe they didn't outdo Bayelsa Queens, but at the end of the day, enough money coming in for them, and it's just 300,000 exactly.
300,000
exactly. So that reinvestment will be strategic.
Just a quick one.
So I think Jimmy said everything. The fact that we had them come to the tournament, and then you talked about the football on display. Football on display was fantastic as far as I'm concerned. TP Mazembe winning it, talked about 1 or 2 issues. There was a lot of banter on social media about the whole thing. But then again, let's focus on the football being played. Focus on what we saw. It was really impressive. Very nice one for women's football on the continent. And we hope that CAF is more intentional and then continually churn out more tournaments like this that will ensure that everybody is involved, and then we get to see the best of African football on the continent.
Best of African football. We've had 4 editions. You've got 3 champions, only 3 champions, only Babylon Sanders winning it twice. So people were thinking ASFA of Morocco were also going to do a second one, but TP Mazembe were here in 2022 They couldn't win it, but they came back and they are winning it. Ken, I mean, we've talked about the money being pumped into this tournament. We've talked about possibility of the increment, but then CAF wants to maintain what they can actually sustain for a while before they can think of an increment. Now, generally, what was it like for you watching this CAF Women's Champions League this year?
Sisi, let me start somewhere. TP Mazembe is owned by Katumbi Chapwe, the Congolese billionaire. In 2010, Sisi, this man bought a private jet for TP Mazembe. And then in 2011, he bought another private jet, 140-seater. For TP Mazembe to prosecute their internal and the league internally. They fly, they only fly, and when they go, they fly their own private jet. They have their own private jet. Not only did they have bought, did they buy those 2 jets for them, he also budgeted $10 million for 2010 for 2 years for them to use. So this, you see, when you see TP Mazembe at the continent, it's when our team want to travel. Of course, you have to go and meet the governor. You have to go and look to approve. You have to look at which hotel you want to stay. TP Mazembe travels in style. The players are paid well. It's like playing in Europe. So $300,000, we are happy because when you convert it to what the Naira is today, we know what it comes to. And any club that is being run, not even the male club, with $300,000 in Nigeria today should be there. So the good thing about this, I said it, I think we said it 2 weeks ago, that insurance also, like we said, the state is trying. I wish probably with this they can start diversifying and removing the state, so that probably the club can stand on its own. But in Edo State, Bendel Insurance and Edo Queens are at the salary at par. They pay the male and the female team the same scale. So it gives that motivation. That's why you see players moving from other clubs going to Edo Queens, trying to be superpower. At a point, it used to be Delta Queens, it used to be Rivers Angels, So, but right now, what we are having now is a team that say yes, they are spending. So basically, like we said, are they going to use it for recruitment? Are they going to use it, of course, the players will get whatever they want to get, and see how they can have probably one of the best teams Africa can have. Because with little cash, I tell you this, the talent we have in Nigeria is enough for us to have that thing where we can bring in the hub, bring in players from Africa, also selling to to Europe, make the money you want to make while whatever the prize money is increases. It is good from CAF. It is good for us from what we have achieved, and we hope also that that trickle down will move down to other African countries where we developed the women's football in Africa.
Yeah, that's what it is, and that's what we're hoping. $600,000. That's what TP Mazembe will be going home with, including, of course, the trophy for the first time winning it. And what the Moroccan side will be going home with $400,000. And the team that finished third, Massa of Egypt, they won the Fair Play Award. They're going home with $350,000, and Edo Queens, of course, $300,000. That's what they're going home with. Most of them were crying because they felt they lost $50,000. They had the game in hand, but somehow they just couldn't progress from that. Let me come to the studio here. I'll come to you, Jimmy. For Edo Queens now, Ken just mentioned that maybe the money can be used for infrastructure, for something else. But for me, I think the state should provide those things, why that money can go to the players, because FIFA has been hammering on the issue that women need to earn from playing football, not playing football and also doing other jobs to survive.
It's as if you act my mind, basically. It's as if you act my mind, basically, because what you look at is these guys, these ladies, they eventually will leave for greener pastures if care is not taken. So I think it will be very important for them to have increased pay. I mean, if they have higher... Ken talked about motivation. TP Mazembe, when you go to TP Mazembe, either as a male or a female player, you feel highly motivated. So if the ladies in Edo Queens, have increased salaries, naturally they will feel like, what's the difference? If I'm playing I'm at home, then I think I can do a lot more better. So why would I go to Albania? Why would I go to Greece? Why would I? There are quite a number of the ladies that are recent have left. And a lot of these girls also, they have made names for themselves. Fola Shade, Jamilusi, MMSN, Mahmoud.
Yeah, Mahmoud,
you know, they have shown that,
Mary
yes,
Angel,
they can stand their own wherever they are, whether in Nigeria or even abroad. So the question is, how do you keep them? How do you ensure, you know, you have this cycle of talent identification for those of them that have left? How do you nurture the ones that are there to keep them happy and motivated? That would be the very most important thing for Edo State government to look at.
You share the same views, or you want them to invest in infrastructure?
Infrastructure.
They should provide that one for them.
Yes, definitely, because when person they work, that person go chop. That's how it's put. Yeah, so like Jim rightly put it, these girls should earn the money that they earn. It should show. Let them understand that, like you rightly put it. They can the money that they're earning in football is they don't need to go after football thinking about other things. No, they have played football. They've earned enough money from football, like their counterpart elsewhere. Like you rightly put it, these girls can stand their own anywhere else in the world where they go to. So I think they are the very best of that we have at the moment. Find ways to nurture more, bring them up, but let them earn in parity. Let them earn so much money that they are enjoying doing their job. I mean, I think that is what the whole thing is all about.
Since Benin Assurance they didn't do well on the continent. Just maybe they can earn higher than them. We talk about equity. What do we mean equity? Equity and fairness. What is fair? If you've done better, you earn better.
Definitely.
I mean, it's just. I'm not going to throw this to Ken. We're ending it here. Debate's closed. Okay, let's move on from this and quickly talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Super Falcons, they are in a very nice group. When I say nice, I mean, we beat Algeria, I mean, over 2 legs. 6-2 on aggregate, right? In the friendlies. And Algeria is in the Super Falcons group for the Africa Women's Cup of Nations coming up in Morocco in July next year. And of course, there you have it, the group A, B, and C.
And that's the group of life. Let me not call it group of death.
Life is Morocco, Zambia, Senegal, DR Congo.
Dr. Congo.
Okay. And don't be surprised, most of the ladies you saw in the CAF Women's Champions League will be here. Exactly. Morocco, of course, I know they have some of their teams also playing with their national team. Then you go to Group B, where you have Nigeria, Tunisia, Algeria, and Botswana. Botswana making their returning for the second time. They made their debut the last time when Morocco hosted, where South Africa won that. Of course, in Group C, that's where you have South Africa, Ghana, Mali, and Tanzania. You have to be afraid of Tanzania because of what they did to Cote d'Ivoire. DR Congo took out Equatorial Guinea. You know, in that region, they are equally matched in terms of physicality and everything you can think of.
Quality of play.
So quality of play. So that's the reason they took out 2 times champions. So we have just only 2 teams that have won this CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations. South Africa, just only once. Just once. But Nigeria, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're looking for the 10th. Yeah, we're looking for the 10th one. So again, we've seen the draw for the Super Falcons. I mean, everyone will say this is a relatively easy draw for the Falcons. But when you check what other countries are doing in terms of pumping money into football, it tells you that we shouldn't underrate those North African countries. We have 2 of them in that group, Algeria and Tunisia.
You guys picked it well. Zambia is now, it's not just a power. Zambia is a superpower. Zambia has, I think, one of 2 of. Before you pick about 3 female players in Africa, you will pick 2 Zambian players who are, the costliest female players in the world, right there at the MLS. So Morocco, Zambia will be a thriller, like you said, TP Mazembe, and most of those girls, you'll see what the Congolese might come out to do. But in our group, you guys there in the studio, if we not win all these teams, if we not beat Algeria and Tunisia, and Botswana, then I don't know what we are going there to go and do. I understand it. It is football. There are no minnows. Anything can happen. Saudi Arabia can beat Argentina. We do understand that. But then this team, with a very good homegrown coach, and then the leader has been going on. I do believe that, yes, we can come out of that group. But my target is the $600,000, guys. It is not going to semi-final or quarter-final. It is the 600. See, the FA is broke. $600,000 will do us a world of good in Nigerian football. So if these ladies can do that, I say, okay, you guys take 300,000, let us do 300,000 and put back into the system. It will be very, very good for us. Botswana, you remember that? You see, there's something about Botswana in sport these days. I don't know, probably one day we shall look at Botswana. They got Tebogo went there to, you remember Leslie Tebogo, right? That is his name, the guy that won the Olympic gold, and then also won the 200 silver in 200 meters. So they are female, they are male in sports, in everything, and even in relay. Botswana, something is happening in Botswana that we need to really check out. If we have to learn from them, that we have to relearn, because they used to learn from us. If we said I want to relearn from them, it won't want to be. But I tell you this, guys, I'm looking straight to the finals. I'm looking straight to picking. We must stamp that in. The Moroccans are very, 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 very good. The Zambians are a threat. South Africans are in there. We've been playing second holders to them. Cameroon is not there this time, and I don't know why. The Ghanaians and Cameroon, I don't know why they didn't grow. Their football didn't grow. They used to be the two teams that troubling Nigeria. Equatorial Guinea, of course, they mix their male and female and bring them into the female team. So a lot of these things do happen. But let us see if we can go there. Let the money be a motivating factor. Discuss with the girls. Tell them this is what we are going to give to you when you get to this particular level. Right now that there is prize money in this particular event. It's going to be exciting. But in the female sport in Africa, I tell you, it's coming of age.
It's coming of age.
Just like you have Lukman Ademola and Osimhen right now. Yeah. You see that Barbara Banda, Kundanaji, and Chawinga, the three of them.
No, add the sister, Tenwa. Nobody's talking about this. Tenwa. Everyone's talking about Tabitha. Exactly. But Tenwa right now, what she's doing in MLS is Kansas City. Yeah.
So you have four of them. If you look at what the four of them are actually doing, you may say, okay, maybe only Ajibade.
But the good thing is that Malawi, they are not here. So let's remove the Chiwanga sisters. There would have been something else.
But what I'm looking at basically is, for what Ken has said, I think 4 countries, Zambia, Morocco, South Africa, Nigeria, those 4 teams are the main teams that everybody has got to watch out for in this particular competition.
That's a little bit of banter. At least our South African brothers our Ghanaian brothers get to watch their women at the Nations Cup, since the men will not be there.
You are looking for how to speak.
You have to rub it in. It's very nice that they won't be there. I mean, the noise too much.
My God, I said last time out, all the talk and everything, but at least this time they get to watch from home and get to see their women.
So they should all travel to Morocco right now. They travel to Morocco and go and
they can pretend the male.
You don't have to pretend. The money you were supposed to use for Winter Nations Cup, use it for the Summer Nations Cup. You enjoy the weather so much in Morocco.
Oh my goodness. Right.
We're leaving the Nations Cup and quickly, yes, so still on Nations Cup, but this time around talking about the teams that did not go. But we'll just take a look again at those teams that have qualified for the, Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco 2025. As he mentioned, Ghana, they are not going. South Africa, of course, are making it, and some other big teams are making it to that. Just take a look at the team here: Morocco, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Algeria, DR Congo, Senegal, Egypt, Angola, Equatorial Guinea. You have Cote d'Ivoire, Gabon, Uganda, South Africa, Tunisia, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mali. You also have Comoros and Sudan, Benin Republic, Tanzania, Botswana, and of course, Mozambique. So these are the teams. So the plane is off, and they are on their way to Morocco. So this is it. So you have the teams, and one big name that is missing and is really felt is Ghana. So Ken, we have the teams, we're looking at the statistics of how the teams qualified. Nigeria has the least number of points. We had just 11. Those that top the group, those teams that top the group, but Nigeria happens to have the least number of points, and that's because of the loss to Rwanda, 2-1 in Uyo.
But we qualify, I mean.
Yes, of course we did.
Nobody cares about how many points.
We had 11 points from 6 matches.
Even if we were 10 points.
No, it should have been. Morocco had 18. I mean, on one of the matches, scored 26 goals.
Most times, look at some major tournament. You will see that sometimes most of the time the team that top the group is the team that come as runner up. In fact, I think when Portugal won, they qualified as third when they won the Euros.
Yeah.
The thing is just qualify. Even qualify for the group. When you enter, they still qualify. Then after qualifying, then you now know what will happen. You know, my friend Fanny Amu, he said they will wobble and fumble to the final. But I love if we wobble and fumble and win the trophy. But what we are trying to say here is, you said one team. No, not one big team. You're talking about Ghana. Ghana is the first team, you know, to win the AFCON for keeps. When they won in 63 and 65, and you know, and then in 1978, we were there in 78. We're in the same group with them. In fact, Shego Dewame scored that goal when we played them, and then they equalized. They played 1-1, and then we were beaten by Uganda in the semi-finals. Very terrible. I mean, one of the worst things that ever happened to Nigeria, to lose to Uganda in the major tournament. I don't understand that. But then Uganda beat us in 78. You know, when Ghana hosted, and Ghana won the trophy. They won the cup for keeps. We were first team. Then remember that time when Nigeria has not won one because it was 2 years later that we won our first one in 1980. But then when we won in 80, in 82, the two teams that played in the final were Ghana and Libya. That's why I told you now, too big to come out now. Libya is not there, and Ghana is not there. So the two teams that played the AFCON final in 1982 are not there. It's going to be, when you miss it, when you watch it, I remember when Zambia knocked us out of qualifying for this thing. It was very, very painful. I remember anytime Equatorial Guinea has hosted, we have not been there. I don't know, they should never give that. No, we just talking about that, you know. We don't go there, but this time they are not hosting. Morocco has that hosting right for some years. And let's say in almost all the competitions, the female, the male, the junior, and everything, we're all converging. Morocco is the new mecca for African sports for now. They are doing a lot of things for infrastructure. They are doing them. They are building capacity. A lot of things that, you know, we should be learning. I don't know why they are giant of Africa right now. It is all we want to do is to learn. But then let us, if we are learning positively and applying the knowledges that we are getting, I think we should be moving. The projector should be, you know, forward. It's going to be an exciting thing. That is African World Cup. So anything that is there, you see, Botswana is, check that list. You say you saw Botswana. Botswana is there now.
They're doing something good.
Botswana and Morocco. We'll go study them, so we'll know what they are doing.
Okay. Maybe I should a brief of what Botswana is doing in Australia. You know, at the Women's World Cup, I met with one of the FA persons. I mean, a lady. She talked about the fact that they told themselves that in 10 years they're going to come up with something. And then even before that 10 years elapsed, that was when they qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations, you know, in 2022 in Morocco. I'm talking about the women. So that's what they started. And not just that, they train the trainer, that every region, they go there to train the coaches. So after that, those coaches are also training others. So you're not just training at the national level, you're training at regional level. Maybe it's easy for them because it's a smaller nation. Maybe we can say that. So the money that comes in, and also they have developmental projects that they put into, that they submitted to FIFA, where, you know, FIFA give them funds for them to execute those projects. So these are some of the things
you're talking about really deliberateness in action.
Yes.
And also a structured framework that they have put in action and making sure it works for them. So it's what it is. The Botswanas, they know what they want for themselves.
They are coming for everyone.
They are coming for everyone.
They don't have enough talent to beat Nigeria.
Well, I'm sure before the Kenyans started to reign in Africa, that's what we were saying.
Okay, all right.
That's what our elders were saying.
Let's pause quickly.
Like Ken puts it, for now, you might think we don't have all these things, but like Ken puts it, the giants of Africa are learning.
Can we play?
we are learning.
NPFL. These guys are not being we are leaving this one. We'll go to NPFL. We are not learning. We are doing a lot of things. We just want the things to manifest.
Okay.
It's part of the learning process.
Before you know it's going to start manifesting. Do you know that? Do you know NNPC right now is partnering with National Sports Commission and they want to develop football? And obviously, it's going to be at all levels. You see what's going to happen in the next 2 years. You see, it's going to be like a bang.
Very,
all right.
Very optimistic.
NPFL, yes, let's talk for the NPFL. Now, match day 13 is getting our attention right now. But we're going to start off with this one. Rabiu Ali scored, one fantastic goal from the center of the field. And that was how they started the comeback, against Lobby Stars. That game ended 2-2, one of the games played on Saturday. Lobby Stars went ahead 2 goals until Rabiu Ali took over.
And the goalkeeper Orisa has been very poor.
Okay.
Rabiu Ali and that team, that Canopilas team, they have a very fantastic setup. Regardless of the ones that are just coming in, Cheo Abdullahi, Ahmed Musa, Zukifilu, Inoua, they've had a very right up to the goalkeeper Destiny Amuchi, they've had that solid team, and they have been even better reinforced with these additions. And to think that they keep going, they keep giving us reasons why we'll talk about them. Rabiu Ali at 44, doing wonderful things, making sure he's in the goals. I think it's very, very remarkable what he's doing at this point in time, really. For a 4-year-old,
we're going to see that.
Yo is nowhere near 44, but
will you stop it? Will you stop it? But Rabiu Ali, it will hurt me then. Look at this.
Just hold on. I mean,
look at this.
I mean, how do you define this?
Incredible.
And I'm like, how?
Look at this.
What keeps it going? What keeps him going? I mean, just like that. Straight up.
I can't hit the ball this hard.
I mean,
I mean, I'm happy.
No, I can't.
Thank you for admitting.
And that's how he gets paid the big bucks. Yeah. But at the same time, I think it will hurt me if a statue is not erected in this guy's honor. It will hurt me a lot because this guy is literally a legend of the game. 44 years, I'll push it. My bones can't even move like this. It was a banger of a goal.
If your bones can't move like that, you have to hit the gym. I mean, when I mean hit the gym, really hard. And not the one you just go there and then...
But then again, they're an entertaining team to watch as well.
Yeah, see what Ahmed Musa started here. I mean, just their transition play. They lost that ball, they went to take it back, and then that's how the second goal
They don't call Ahmed Musa the president for nothing.
They are the governor.
They don't, the governor, sorry. You don't call him the governor for nothing, sorry.
But then it wasn't there, and they just look at what Mustafa did right there. He was there.
I mean,
it's very entertaining team to watch.
Yes, it's the excitement and the hunger and the finishing that I see in it.
And you know why I'm even happy is the fact that they are having results go that way. And somewhat it looks like this violent attitude of the fans is going away. Once the results come in, they tend to be less violent. But as much as possible, this should be, something for them to, I mean, the management now to talk to the fans as much as possible. You are having results. Whenever results don't go your way, make sure you don't become irate. Make sure you don't begin to take law into your hands and all that. So, I mean, for Canopilas right now, it looks like El Dorado.
That's what it's looking like. Ken, I know you are enjoying this clip. I mean, Rabiu Ali is someone that you talked about, especially that period when he celebrated his 44th birthday, brought out history of what we can be doing to our NPFL players. But this game against Lobby Stars, man, it is one really made for TV.
Against Ken Slostrom.
And Daniel Amokachi, yes, there are two of them.
Oh my God.
Slostrom is this guy.
I think Catalan said it there. Canopilas can immortalize this man, where what Fiorentina did for Batistuta, do for what Napoli did for Maradona, did for what Manchester United did for the three wise guys, Best, and the rest of them all. Erect a statue of this man. He's one of a kind. A one-man club. When the Italians are celebrating Maldini, Polo, when are celebrating players who played for them from beginning to the end, and geeks of this world, Gerrard, Steven Gerrard of this world, who says, look, I'm just a one club man. If I live here, I'm not coming back. And that is what, not only has it been there, he has been productive, he has been leading. I think it was somebody who said that when there was a time that the Canopilas went to play MFM at Agege, and then when the whole place became rowdy, everybody was, the fans, Rabiu Ali, he just got up and said, when they saw him speak, everybody became, the whole place, became very quiet and very cool. It tells you how much respect he has garnered over the years. I think it is time to reward him. It is time to recognize him. It is time to build him that statue, so that when you are going to that stadium, you say, yes, this is what I want to be. This is how I want to play my football. This is how I want to reward a team that is my team, my home team, to inspire the next generation. Yeah, Catalan, thanks for that. We should try and move that.
Yeah, let's quickly, okay.
Like the same statue that Manchester United will build for Ronaldo. Jose Mourinho.
But see, Ronaldo.
We're talking about something positive. Why are you guys like this? No, we need to take a look at other games that were played. Yes, that was a standout performance from Kano Pillars. Benin Insurance, Monday Odige has resigned, so they are back to winning ways. He left them at 19th position, right? That's where Benin Insurance are right now, which is really not so cool. Yeah, 19th position. But let's just take a look at the results, you know, of what happened on a Saturday. Some of the games, we have about 3 or 4 matches here for it. But we need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the NPFL, other games, and the other games coming up today, and of course the games that we're playing on Saturday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the CAF Women's Champions.
Right, welcome back. We'll talk about NPFL much later on the program. But first, let's quickly touch down on the National Sports Festival. The next edition is in January, which is Ogun State Gateway Games. 15,000 athletes will be competing in that. But Enugu State will be hosting the 23rd edition of the National Sports Festival. They're giving them time for them to prepare, because we've looked at facilities at that in Ogun State. Well, the last time, you know, the governor, you know, had to inspect facilities. They're still trying to, you know, refurbish the stadium for it to host the games. But it's in January. But right now, Bukola Olokbade, that's the Director General of the National Sports Commission, he has announced that Enugu State, they're hosting. And the reason why they're hosting is because they have the facilities already. They went there and they saw what they can, you know, actually give. But let's quickly take a listen to Bukola Olokbade. They're talking about this, and of course, Ken will react to this.
The next host of the National Sports Festival, the 23rd National Sports Festival, would be Enugu State. And for me, it's a thing of joy, because we always, in the last few years, would wait until the closing ceremony to announce the next host, which somehow has not added value to those closing ceremonies the way you see everywhere in the world. So what we have today now is Enugu State with at least 2 years and a few months to put together their facilities and have an amazing games, and obviously 3 months or 2 months to put together a cultural display, something that showcases Enugu at the closing ceremony in Abeokuta. And that also obviously will give you the international touch that is needed. It shows that the Commission is coming up with a different strategy with which sports will be administered in this country. It has to have a corporate approach, a structured approach, a better organized approach, which will elevate the perception and the status of the way people look at sports. Enugu State is one of the states that has already been prepared in terms of facilities. When you look at the sort of facilities that they have around Enugu State, from the university in Nsukka to the stadium in Enugu, to the golf course, which is an amazing golf course, to the sports complex that they have within the stadium with swimming pools and everything. And you think of the ambition of Governor Peter Umba, you would agree with me that the things that you need to put into cognizance before you even give this sort of hosting rights to any state are very present in Enugu State. So leadership is there, passion is there, purpose-driven attitude is there, facilities are there, the love of sport by the people.
Love of sport by the people. It simply means you have more people coming to the stadium to watch. We saw what happened in Edo State, a massive crowd. Delta State, of course, also continue with that. If I remember, COP 2012 was that it was Abuja that we didn't see much of the crowd. But hey, Ken, you listen to him. Enugu State is hosting, and the question we'll be asking is how many states actually bidded for this? We don't have a knowledge of that. But they said documents were looked into, and they discovered, okay, Enugu Rangers, Enugu State. Enugu Rangers, yeah, it was goalless against Heartland. Okay, take take it.
Cecilia, like you said, we will have loved not just looking at documents. Yeah. We'll have loved, like you said, how many states bidded to host. Was there a committee that is set up to go around to see, because you can have your intent on paper, you can have facilities. He visited there, like from what he's telling us, probably before he was appointed as the DG, and that is his own, as the DG, his opinion, he believes this is set. And well, sometime on this show, we've even kind of propagated that we are turning it in. The festival thing is removing the championship. That even if it can be renamed National Sports Championship and not festival. A lot of the culture, this, of course, when it was conceived after the Civil War as a thing to integrate the country, for us to know ourselves, that is why the NYSC thing posts people to other areas so that they can understand the country. Those things are all there. But right now, we're talking about champions. We're talking about spending money for infrastructure, spending money for training the trainers. You're talking about Botswana just now, what they were doing when they told you when you went to Australia. Those are the things we're saying. And then Bukola Olakpade was the commissioner for sports when Ogun State hosted, and it was a private sector driven. But right now, he's talking about the governor, what the governor wants to do, public money, not private money. So I believe that, of course, he is one man that, in fact, we brought him on this show years after they hosted, and to say, look, I mean, how did you do it? You understand? How did you do it? And then we showcased him on Channel Sport on Sunday. And right now, we are saying the reserves which the state has competing for other things, we know what to do. But putting infrastructure, I believe, is part of the responsibility of the government. We know that. But in running a championship, which he did, mostly with the private sector, just like what South Africa did over the All Africa Games, and Danny Jordan was in charge and they make profit, is what we are expecting in 2026. So, like we said, you asked how many state bidder, he didn't tell us. He just said, look, he just recommended to the chairman, and then the chairman, with the technocrats, they were let us give it to Enugu State. We don't know what the process is. Was it advertised? Were they asked? But then we've seen where states were even giving formally, where I think it was Cross River also. At the point, we're even begging them. Yeah. We said, do it with Akwa Ibom. Maybe you can have the joint host. They said, no, you can share facilities and stuff like that. You can give 2 states to host the National Sport Champion Festival and have results. We want to pick our athletes as young as they are. We want to identify them so that we can groom them. Those of them that have the talent to go over there from the basic level to come in, and that is what we're expecting. We don't know. Probably in the coming days, most of these questions will be answered. The process through which Enugu was awarded, and how prepared Enugu State is to give us the infrastructure that will outlive the championship. It's not after the festival, the whole thing going to whatever it is, deteriorated, and you're thinking what you want to put in there that our schools can go over there, children can go over there and use it, and then they can produce world-class athletes.
I think I like what Ken has said, and I so much agree with the DG, the new DG, when he says it's nice to announce, the hosts, so that at least you can have a feel of them even before the competition. But I think there are pitfalls to avoid, because this is someone that had been acting in private capacity and also had been a consultant to the same state. So you want to look at issues of conflict of interest. 6 months ago, serving as consultant to the same state government, and he has recommended to the chairman.
Don't you think because of what he has said, and he feels
the question
and of course,
that's where I made it.
He threw it to. It wasn't just alone.
Now,
he threw it to other technical.
What we are saying basically is this: there is a need for wider consultation. The way you behave when you are in your own private firm and have a consortium of people to relate and liaise with is a lot more different than when you now are, working in the government capacity, where you have to do a lot of consultation.
You share his view that they should have set up a committee to actually, go around.
That's why Ken said we are unclear about the process that led to this. But issues of conflict, because in July, they actually did inspect with officials of Ministry of Youth and Sport. But the question is, the process... Maybe they were considering it already. Maybe you had states has already submitted. Maybe they went through... They bid. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they had other states. They went round and they discovered that Enugu is the best. That's why it was... When issues like this come up, we need to scrutinize which state bidded. Was it just Enugu that was the sole bidder? And if so, oh, they have shown that they are this. And after consulting with the National Council of Sports, this is what we agreed on.
Yeah, that's what he said. He consulted with the others. I mean, that's what he said. Yeah.
With which others?
The technical, you have the technical.
I mentioned the National Sports Commission. So that means all
Council
of the
Sports. So you're thinking about all the
state commissioners.
All the state commissioners.
Yeah, we need to get that.
I'm not there in that one.
So I think the fact that like Ken put it, a lot of things are not made public is giving room for a lot of maybes and maybe not. And, you know, so that in itself would have cleared the air on quite a number of things we're talking about. Now I'm just of the opinion that we should just have a fantastic festival when it comes around and let us enjoy ourselves. Personally, the first one I was actively involved in was Eco 2012. And I can say it was, I think, one of my best festivals ever. It was for show then, and that was.
And even Olapade was fantastic. I mean, the Gateway Games is probably, I think it's the biggest. You know, because, you know, Kendi talk about the private sector. It was private sector driven.
Yes.
So he's trying to say basically, Mr. Olapade, is it that you have forgotten how you drove the private sector to do this?
Giving us some of the best sports festivals ever.
It should not be about Enugu State money now. It has to be about all the private
how we get involved.
Yeah.
If the private sector are not involved, then the states will have to bring in the money, right? Okay, let's leave that. I think Edo did something also good too. You had some private sectors coming in, but not as much as we saw in Gateway Games.
With Bendel Insurance and Edo Queens, a couple of years ago.
No, I'm talking about the sports festival. No, I'm talking about the sports festival, the COVID one that he wasn't hosting the COVID year. Then was
so there's the COVID festival. The way you went
NPFL, yes, we're going back to NPFL right now. We'll just take a look at the games that were played on Saturday. Bendel Insurance coming back to winning ways after that loss, after the coach left. Academy Warriors beating Aqua United by a lone goal. Aqua United where are they now? Bottom? Bendel Insurance are closely followed when you go from, from the bottom up. They were able to beat Kwara United by 3-1. Heartland and Enugu Rangers, this derby ended goalless. Of course, we talked about Lobby Stars and Canopilas ending 2-2. And Niger Tornadoes, Korodu City, they're cooking. I mean, they went away to pick up a point. I love what I'm seeing from Saturday's results. We have just only 2 teams and that won, their home teams, while the others went away from home to pick up points. The home teams, the last 3 home teams, Heartland, Lobby Stars, and Niger Tornadoes, could not even do that. And Canopilas had to come from 2 goals down to be, and it ended well. We've not heard stories of,
as a new foreign technical advisor. 2-2. Okay.
We are watching.
Now for today's games, yes, you have some games that will be played today. In case you miss out on your zone without you watching any games, so today you have opportunity to see some of these games live in your zone. Now the one you have to, Plateau and Nasarawa United, they'll be in action. It's going to be behind closed doors, so sorry you can't watch because of what they did the last time. Rivers are hosting Abia Warriors, and Katsina and Remo Stars, 3SC, and Bayelsa United in that order. So that's it for the NPFL. Which one gets your attention? I know we've talked about Canopilas, but
3SC Bayelsa.
3SC Bayelsa. Where's it going to go to? 3SC. Easy. Why are you smiling?
No, I wasn't expecting to say anything else.
Ken does not have a team that is competing in Nigeria Premier Football League. I mean, Nigeria Premier League.
Where are all the Delta states, the Delta clubs?
I don't know.
Ask him now. Why are we speaking for him?
Ken, we don't know. We were trying to just take a look. Okay,
Formula One.
Okay, we'll talk Formula 1.
Ken, thank you.
We won't go to Formula 1 yet, so let's quickly talk about the English Premier League, the games that were played yesterday. Arsenal back to winning ways, Man City still losing, and Chelsea, they continue to win. And Ipswich will be welcoming United today. We'll see if the dreamer will be able to restore what happened in the theater of dreams. I mean, I can't believe this. I mean, this picture speaks volume. Looking at this picture, you understand that, this man, he has never been here before.
Going through a lot.
He has been here as a player. He wasn't the one on the hot seat, but right now he's the one on the hot seat. And just remember, on Thursday when his contract was renewed, on Friday when he was talking ahead of this game, he mentioned that even if Manchester City had to play in the Conference League next season, he would still be here. even if they had to be relegated, he will still be here. What a way to actually start that.
I think for the first time he's experiencing things that Jose Mourinho has gone through in his career.
Which was it this bad for Jose Mourinho?
In all competitions, he lost in the EFL Cup, he lost in the Champions League, he lost in the league.
Pep, bottom line is, what I'm basically saying is that Pep has never lost like this. He has never lost like this. He's never had this down. And I also feel the law of diminishing returns is taking place on his players. Can't talk about the fact that
all the injured players.
Yes, quite a number of these players injured, rushing some of them back. Kevin De Bruyne struggling for form and whatnot.
I think it goes beyond that, really. I think there's a loss of belief. They just go down, and they are not able to find themselves back into the game. They struggle, and it's so sad to see at this point.
It is. Okay, quickly, just results.
Leicester losing home to Chelsea yesterday. Arsenal 3-0. I saw it and Wannery come off the bench and scored that goal. I was happy. I think that guy should get more opportunity to play in the first team for Arsenal. Aston Villa playing a 2-0 against Crystal Palace.
What a game!
Yeah, interesting game. And Bournemouth and Brighton. Bournemouth losing at home. Everton goalless against Brentford. Wolves, I don't know, the resurgence out of nowhere, trashing Fulham by 4-1. And of course,
it will be scoring.
It will be Dio.
It will be Dio. What do we usually see in Nigeria? It will be what?
It will be you.
It will be you.
Okay, the D is out. So the Dio is the one. It's not the only goal.
And then for the first time in his career, Pep Guardiola.
He has got 25 goals right now for Fulham.
This is a total discombobulation, evisceration.
That's your grammar. You don't look at Formula 1. Pep was run out. We talked about all your drama. So a quick one on F1 Verstappen, 4th title, Formula Verstappen.
Since 1983, this is the first time you have a driver.
I like the way Jimmy just
the first time since 1983 where the team is not first or second, but the driver emerges first. And it just tells you the story about how competitive this particular season has been, and we hope that next season will be as competitive. All along we have been saying it had been boring, but Norris came up, fantastic, and you saw George Russell, you know, and Hamilton. Very sad to see out of the 8 of the top 4 teams. It's so sad that if Vettel had not, done the needful, he didn't need to get on the podium to even win this particular race. But his partner, I mean, Perez has been very poor this season.
Yeah, he's been poor. But of course, Max Verstappen has won the 4th title. Congratulations to you for Max winning the title.
On behalf of all the Formula Vs,
next year we have different drivers winning different races.
But it would be nice to hear from Ken. Ken has to talk about.
No, we need to go. Time is gone. You can't buy more time. Ken, we have to go, so you have to drop your pen.
Let me just say this. He just mentioned 1982. In that same year, the guy who won it, Nelson Piquet. Nelson Piquet finished 5th, winning as in 81, winning in Vegas. That's in Vegas, where this guy, where Verstappen won. He won the championship, finishing 5th. And I tell you this: do you know what happened? Do you know the relationship? Nelson Piquet is the father of Verstappen's girlfriend. So his father-in-law won the
I love that. I love you bringing it up. That
pen dropped. Gotta go.
It is dropped.
See you next Sunday. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for watching. Absolutely, I'm Ogbe. Have a great day.